So, welcome for today's class of Pedagogy of School Subject General Science B.Ed 1 Paper 107. This is a continuation of the previous notes. So, today I will be giving you all the notes on pedagogical approaches and resources of general science. Okay, so let us start with the giving you all the notes. So let me read the notes towards you all. So the first one is the A, that is the methods of teaching. Lecture cum demonstration. Experimental laboratory and project method model of teaching, a 5E learning model. Next I'll have is the planning, organization, maintenance and significance of the general science laboratory. Learning resources in general science, competencies of science teacher. So these are something which all need to know. Take down the notes. This is the continuation of the previous chapter. No, okay, this is the new unit. Okay, the link is in the description for the previous notes. You all can get it in the description, the link. Okay, so this is the introduction which you all can take down. So here it is, the pedagogy is the discipline that deals with theory and practice of education. It is thus, I hope you all can see this clearly, okay, this part. It is thus concerned with the study and practice of how to teach the best way. It is the science as well as art. It is the science because it has knowledge of theories, while it is art has it put these theories correctly into practice and builds teaching experiences. Pedagogical approaches are the overall perspectives used to plan and implement one or more instructional strategies. Some pedagogical approaches are inquiry based learning, project based learning, different methods and models of teaching, resources based learning, cooperative learning, etc. Okay, so science is not subject which can be learnt only along with different pedagogical approaches for science teaching. Okay, so where I reached. Science is not a subject which can learnt only in the classroom using textbooks. So it's teachers' responsibility to use various resources along the different pedagogical approaches for science teaching. It will encourage lifelong learning and foster critical thinking of student. Teacher can cultivate this way of thinking in student through proper science instruction. Therefore, these instructions should be accurately and enthusiastically communicated. That's why various pedagogical approaches along with their merits and demerits learning resources for science teaching learning process are discussed in this chapter. You'll have to note that I will be giving you all only the notes, no explanation, okay? Okay, these are the methods of teaching. Teachers as well as students differ in their personality. Those the content is same for all students. Their capacities to understand are different. Therefore, teachers must use different methods for teaching science based on environment, students' capacity, and content. A teaching method comprises the principle and methods used for instructions to be implemented by teachers to achieve the desired learning in student. While selecting any teaching method, teachers should think about effective classroom session, maximum student participation, age, capacity of student, available resources contained in the textbook. Okay, series of methods are being laid down so that teachers could select from them according to their need. Some of the methods are discussed below. The first one is you all have is the lecture demonstration method. It is one of the teacher-centered traditional method in which teachers are active while you can say that students are somewhat passive. Students cannot learn science either by lecture or by uh, You can just see to this or by demonstration. Lecture demonstration is the method which achieves advantages. Okay, so this is the advantages of both lecture and demonstration method and minimize the disadvantages. So basically, this method can be proved one of the best methods if the demonstration are well planned, well arranged and effective. Next we have is the nature of lecture demonstration method. Using lecture method, teacher first explains the theoretical portion using different. So she is using the different figures, statements, etc. Then performs experiment in the class to make students learning more effective, clear and easy. But this is not one-way communication. Students are involved in verbal and active participation. The observe apparatus as well as procedure and also helps teachers in demonstration whenever necessary. As a part of two-way communication, teacher asks various questions and gets correct responses from them. The student observe demonstration critically. Next, continue the writing of the notes. That is the principle of lecture demonstration method. According to Huxley principle, whatever is observed and can be experienced is true and reliable. Next we have is the C1, that is advantages of lecture demonstration method. Advantages of lecture demonstration method are as follows. So these are the advantages of the lecture demonstration method. Okay, the first one is direct experiences are given. This is attention catching method. It simulates interest as students participate in experiment. Intellectual and communication skill are developed. This method is psychological as it is given concrete experiences to students. It saves time and money as all students can see the same operations simultaneously. More hazardous experiment may be attempted to avoid any danger to student. Teachers is in the position to explain each and every step and to ensure that all students see and interpret all the work in the same manner. No question of discipline arises as there is a control of teacher in the class. 10th one is development of observation power, cooperation, inference power, etc. take place. The 11th one is it follows maximum of teaching concrete to abstract and from simple to complex. Next is this method is highly effective method has theoretical part taught in the class is immediately followed by experiment. Now we have the disadvantages of the lecture demonstration method. So the disadvantages of lecture demonstration method are as follows. The first one is like learning by doing principle is not followed as this is substitute for laboratory method. Second is all the student may not be able to see the detail of procedure and result. Either too fast or too slow speed of demonstration sometimes may create trouble. Next, the fourth one is it ignores individual differences since it is not child-centered. Next next point is development of experimental skill does not take place among students, so it is not useful to develop scientific attitude. Okay, you can copy down these notes. Take a screenshot of it and copy down. So next point you all can take down is the sixth one. If demonstration is complex, students feel it difficult to understand the basic. Okay, so I hope you all can see this clearly. Okay, this point, concept, principle and skill. Next is the characteristic of good demonstration. So what is the characteristic of the good demonstration? Let us see. Visibility, it should be visible to all students in the class. Second one is one major idea at a time. Teacher must take care that at a time single idea. So this you can see clearly, right? Okay, single idea should be shown to avoid confusion. Next, third point is it should be pre-tested so that it may be convincing, striking, and clear cut. Fourth one is supplemented with other teaching aids. Experiment can be accompanied accompanied by diagrams. Next point we have is teacher must ask relevant questions and take student verbal and active participation. The sixth one point is sufficient time should be provided to student for participation as well as for observation. Seventh point is observation should be written on blackboard. Eighth one is teachers must be good performer. Next what we have is the some key points to be kept in mind. So the first point is teachers must clear theoretical part before performing experiment and should spend sufficient time in thinking and devising experiments. The second point is teachers should carry out experiment in such a way that students should learn how to carry it out by themselves. The third point is before experiment teachers should make sure that apparatus is properly kept and everything is in order. Next point which we have is teachers should focus on neatness and cleanliness while performing the experiment. The fifth point is generally students are placed in a passive role which may lead in boring, so to avoid this involve them in activity and thinking behind the experiment. By minimizing demerits and following key points, teachers can make this method effective and useful. Next what we have is the experimental method. This method is one of the important method of teaching science and it forms integral part of effective science teaching. It is also known as laboratory method. So next what we have is this is the nature of experimental method. Continue this writing of these notes. Under this, teacher encourage student to derive various scientific laws and principle on their own by getting personally involved in the experiment. Student carry on the experiments and record the observation properly and derive the conclusion. Role of teacher is as a guide. Entire work of the student is being supervised. Supervised and controlled by the teacher, as a result of which probability of meeting with any kind of accident reduces to considerable extent. Also students perform their work without any mistake. Next what we have is the principle of experimental method. That will be the principle behind this method is learning by doing. It follows teaching maxims. Okay, I hope you all can see this clearly. This part, maxims, from concrete to abstract and from known to unknown. Next we have is the consideration for using this method. The first point under this is knowledge gained by using this method. Knowledge gained by using this method is valid and powerful. Knowledge is useful and reliable. Laboratories are often the best source of interaction for students. For students. Interaction with teacher, with peers and subject material itself. I hope you all can see this part clearly, Fourth point is it is actual doing science. Next is fifth point, you'll have it. It deals with the inquiry activity in science and not only listening of someone's talk. Listening to someone's talk. It is a hand-on learning process for all. Next we have is the advantages of the experimental method. So let us see this notes. Okay, so we have is the advantages of experimental method. Advantages of experimental method are as follows. The first point which you have is the student learn by doing and come in contact with various apparatus in teaching learning process. The second point is student develop power of observation and reasoning. Third one is this method is helpful for development of scientific attitude. The fourth point is it can be a preparation for solving real life problem. The fifth point is it gives an understanding of what research is and how to apply the scientific method of research in a day-to-day life. The sixth one is development of experimental skill takes place. The seventh point is positive attitude and interest towards science develop in student mind. The eighth point is it has a psychological base as it is child-centered and natural instinct of the child care give due weightage. Next we have is the ninth point. It makes learning easy and enduring. 10th point is the knowledge acquired by practical method is durable, meaningful and permanent and cannot be forgotten. Okay, this is permanent. Okay, I hope you all can see this spelling properly. Let me zoom it little bit over here. Okay, I hope you all can see this clearly. Okay, permanent and cannot be forgotten. Next what we have is 11th point, many topics of science are best understood through this method. 12th point is sometimes students work in group, as a result cooperation, team spirit, we feeling these qualities automatically develop within student. 13th point is it provides opportunity for critical thinking and dignity for labor. 14th point is in this method individual differences and interest of all students are taken into consideration. The 15th point is students learn to explore various things on their own. So next we have is the demerits of experimental method. Okay, so let us see the demerits of the experimental method. Demerits of experimental method are as follows. This first point is this method is not applicable for whole syllabus. Second point is it is expensive as it becomes necessary to provide all the student separate equipment. Third point is more time consuming compared to demonstration method as a student are unskilled and not as competent to handle apparatus as their teachers. This method, fourth point, this method is not suitable and useful for large class and lower class students, as it requires independent efforts and working. The fifth point is this method needs individual attention to be paid to every pupil, whereas an excessive help defeats the main purpose of the method. But by minimizing this limitation and with the help of proper planning and apparatus and time needed providing relate theoretical knowledge about experiment, guiding and helping the student teachers can prove this method as an effective one. Okay, next what we have is the project method. Okay, let us see the project method. This method is based on philosophy of Sir John Dewey, an American educationist. Okay, I hope you all can see this clearly over here. Okay, so this word is a educationalist found out. Okay, here it is, found out this method, but as a perfect method of teaching it is presented by Dr. J.A. Stevenson. Okay, let me continue on the next page. So this is the definition. This is the Kilpatrick. Okay, this is the definition of by Kilpatrick. So this is the first one. A project is a wholehearted, purposeful activity proceeding in a social environment. Okay. Second one is Stevenson. A project is a, I hope you all can see this clearly. Okay, this is not clear, I guess. Okay. A project is a problematic act carried to completion in its most natural setting. This project is any purposeful activity which is the most interesting and absorbing, which is carried out in a natural, real, and social environment. Next we have is the principle. The main principle behind this method is learning by doing and self-study. The D1 is nature of project method. Okay, purpose oriented. Knowledge of purpose is great stimulus which motivates the child to realize his goal. The child must have an ideal why he is doing certain things. Purpose, motives, learning interest cannot be amused by aimless and meaningless activities. This is clear to you all this. Next is the activity based. Okay. Children are active by nature and love activity. The instinct of curiosity and construction makes them active by nature. Therefore, such opportunities should be provided to them that make them active and learn things by doing. Physical as well as mental activities are to be provided to them. They are allowed to do and to live through doing. Okay, so these are the notes you can take down. Next is the experience based. Experience is the best teacher. What is real must be experienced. The children learn new facts and information through experiences. Next is based on social experience. The child is a social being and we have to prepare him and for social life. Training for a corporate life must be given to him in his childhood. In the project method, the child works in groups. The fifth one we have is the reality based. Life is real and education to be a meaningful must be a real. The child who is to live in a life of reality must be trained as such to his education. The project method is a method of educating the child and therefore it must also be real. Okay, I hope you all can see this clearly. Real life situations should be presented in the life of the school. Next we have is the utility oriented. Knowledge will be worthwhile only when it is useful and practical. The traditional system of instruction simply stressed formal and visual formation of its sake and was a little utility. The project method develops various attitudes and values which are of great significance from the practical point of view. Next is the stages of project method. Okay, y'all can take down the notes. Okay, y'all can just take a screenshot and start writing these notes. So this is the stages of project method. The first one is the creating the situation. In this first step, teachers creates proper situation for the students in the class. Teacher aware student about procedures, steps of project method, situation or problem created should be purposeful and significant due to weight age should be given to interest and abilities of student. Generally, social problems are preferred as they provide a genuine satisfaction and training. Project may be carried out individually or in a group. Example, plantation of trees in school garden, collection of work done by Indian scientists, etc. Second one we have is the selection of problems. From the situation created by teacher, students select a problem based on their interest and ability. After selection of problem, teachers ask them to record why they have selected particular project. It a sentence objective of the project. Next one we have is the planning of the project. Okay, I hope you all can see this notes clearly. You all can take the screenshot of this. Third one we have is the planning of the project. Teacher discuss with the student about the problem through various angles and points. Students do not do the whole planning. In the process of planning, teacher has to act only as a guide and give suggestion if required, but actual planning is left to the student. Next, what we have is the execution of the project. Students start the project. First, they collect relevant information. Teachers should give time and right to the student to the work according to their own speed, interest and ability. During this stage, teachers should motivate the students, provide proper suggestion and guidance, and note progress of the project. Teachers should also constantly cross-check the relation between checked out plans and developing projects. Next, what we have is the continuation, that is the fifth one, the evaluation. After completion of project, continue this writing of the notes. After completion of project, it is necessary to evaluate it. Evaluation should be done by the pupils and the teachers. Here the students are evaluating their tasks. They determine whether the objectives are achieved or not. After that, they criticize and express their feeling about the task freely. The evaluation of the project has to be done in the light of planned difficulties in the execution and achieved result. So just take the screenshot of this and start writing the notes. Next we have is the sixth one. Okay, I hope you all can see this clearly. Reporting of and recording. In the last step of the project method, each and every step of the work is reported. It includes objective planning, details and of suggestion, division of activities, procedure of execution, information that has been collected, solution or for difficulties, etc. Report is submitted to the teachers at the end. Role of teachers is a guide, friend, and philosopher, and not a director or a commander. Teachers should encourage students to work collectively and cooperatively. Also, teachers should help students to avoid mistakes. Next, what we have is the role of teacher in project method. Teachers should play following roles into project method. First point is teacher must be a friend, guide and working partner. Second point is teacher must have though knowledge of individual student and allot work accordingly. Third point is provide democratic atmosphere. The fourth point is he should learn with student and should not claim to know everything. The fifth one is he must be inexperienced, initiative and process tact for creating positive ambience. Merits of project method. Take down these notes. Merits of project method are as follows. As students get proper freedom to execute the project in accordance with their interest and abilities. It is psychological method. Second one what we have is development of critical thinking, problem solving, coordination and cooperation skill takes place. Okay. Third point is it is useful for self-learning. Fourth point is students learn by doing and realize dignity of labor since they work themselves. Next point we have is the fifth one. It develops interest in science and habit of accurate observation. Okay. I hope you all can see this clearly. Sixth point is it also develops abstract and concrete scientific skill. Seventh point is the student remain active throughout the project. They completely absorbed in their task, so no problem of indiscipline arises. Eighth point is knowledge gained by this method becomes solid and durable. Ninth point is it also develops social skill as it promotes social interaction among the students. 10th point is through this method science teaching can be done with considerable success. As science is a practical subject and this method is also scientific and practical. Okay, I hope you all can see this clearly. In nature. Now we have the demerits of the project method. So let us see the demerits of the project method over here. Demerits of the project method are as follows. The first point you all can take down is it is the time consuming as well as expensive. Second point is all the units cannot be taught by this method. Third point is it is not possible to maintain continuity and regularity in teaching. Fourth point is if teacher is not having much information about this method, they hesitate to use it. The fifth point is it requires a lot of planning and efforts for execution. Sixth point is sometimes project may be too ambitious and beyond student capacity. Seventh point we have is it requires imaginative and resourceful teachers. Okay, so till now today I will stop with this now giving you all the notes from here, and the next class I will be giving you all the notes on this topic. That is the model 5E learning model. Okay, from here I will start continuation of the notes in the next class. So till today this much is enough of writing. You all can just take the screenshot wherever is needed and you all can start writing these notes. So I hope you all are okay with it. Okay, because I'm not giving any explanation, I'm giving you all only the notes. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe my channel and share with your friends. Press the bell icon for more updates.